21 Conservative MPs are due to lose the whip in the Conservative Party. Why? Because they voted against Boris Johnson in trying to stop a no-deal Brexit. Hello, I am JC Sendon and this is LiberalCon Listener. Cool. Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's great you're all watching. I'm going to read you an article that's put a smile on my face, because you would think that as a Brexiteer that I would be upset today. But in fact, in looking at what Boris Johnson and Cummings are actually up to, it's actually put a massive smile on my face. But let me start off by the most fantastic news. Now, we all know that 21 rebels had actually gone against the government and gone against Boris to try and stop a no-deal Brexit by taking control of Parliament's schedule and then bringing in a bill today to try and stop Boris Johnson from going for a no deal and ensuring that he goes back to Parliament with a tail between his legs, asking for another 3-month extension, even though we've had another 2 that Parliament haven't been able to do anything with. But the really good news, the really fantastic news, is the people that have now lost the whip of the Conservatives. It means that they can't go for the next general election. It means they can't vote for the Conservative Party. What we're actually having is people that are going to be voted in the Conservative Party, hopefully on the next general election, that actually are Conservative, and that's exactly what I want. But the people that have lost, this is just like the cream. Listen, you know when you have a lovely chocolate cake, and then someone comes along and puts some fantastic whipped cream all over it, and maybe some strawberries and chocolate flakes. Well, this is my chocolate flakes on my chocolate cake, and I'm sure you can understand by just looking at me that I love chocolate cake. Former Chancellors Fimmett Hammond and Ken Clarke had their Conservative whip whipped away from them. After a total of 21 Conservatives rebelled against the government, Boris Johnson warned them what was going to happen, and lo and behold, he'd done what he said he was going to do. Theresa May would have turned around to Conservatives and said, "You would lose the whip if you do that." But did she do it? Fuck no. She didn't give a shit about it, did she? She just wanted her way of doing things. So, why am I such a happy chappy? I mean, I'm a Brexiteer. And the fact that I'm doing this video means that there's something substantial happening with the whole Brexit thing. Like I told you on my videos, probably about 4 or 5 down, that there's no point in talking until something really relevant is happening. Now, a lot of Brexiteers and maybe Ramonas are believing that somehow Parliament are now able to stop Boris Johnson from going for no deal. Well, that's not exactly clear cut right now. Boris Johnson, I think, is playing a game. And this game is let the bill go through House of Commons, let it go through to the Lords. However, the Lords are already talking about 90 amendments for that bill. So by the time those amendments have gone through, we would have left the EU. Because by law, on the 31st of October, we would have left. There's another thing in that as well, where Boris Johnson doesn't really want a general election, because he wants that election once he leaves the EU. Because he knows the Conservatives will just obliterate the Labour Party, the Lib Dems, everyone, and Parliament are completely aware of it. So they turn round to Parliament and turn round to Jeremy Corbyn and say, well, if you're going to do these silly shenanigans, then we're going to have a general election. Now, you've got to remember, over the last 2 years, Jeremy Corbyn has been screaming for a general election. Every one of the Labour Party have been screaming for a general election. We need to get this horrible, nasty Tory party out of government, and we need to come in because we're for the many. However, things are not so green for the Labour Party. In fact, they are the red of the Labour Party. You see, if you was to go by the polls, which, alright, fair enough, can be a bit strange at times. If you was to go by the polls, then the Labour Party wouldn't have a chance of winning. If you bring in the whole Brexit situation into it, then you've got to realise that Labour Party haven't got a chance. More and more people are starting to realise that Jeremy Corbyn is a nasty piece of shit that wants to put Reeves on terrorist graves, that believes that the IRA had a point and it was okay for them to bomb our streets, bomb people in our country, wants to get rid of the army, wants to get rid of nuclear weapons to protect our country, our people. You see, the fact is, Boris Johnson is not as dumb as he looks. He's actually a very intelligent man, but he tries to make out that he's not as intelligent as he is. That's class. Real class. The likes of Boris Johnson and Cummings are aware once this bill goes through to the House of Lords. The House of Lords have already stated there's going to be around 90 amendments for it. So the chance of it actually coming into law, going back to the House of Commons, it's very rare. Is rare what right word? No, it's not rare. It's almost impossible. Almost impossible. In the time period between now and leaving on the 31st of October. So to all my Brexiteer brothers and sisters, understand this and understand it clear. Whatever Parliament do right now, they are screwed as far as I'm aware. I cannot really see them trying to force Boris Johnson to go back to the EU with his tail between his legs, asking for an extra 3 months to discuss leaving the EU. Even though they've had over 3 years to do exactly that. So brothers and sisters, boys and girls, we will be leaving on the 31st of October. Until my next video, remember to subscribe, remember to thumbs up. Ciao everyone.
I want everybody to know there are no circumstances in which I will ask Brussels to delay. We're leaving on the 31st of October, no ifs or buts.